And welcome to another exciting episode of the Click Nation's Comic Book Chronicles. I am your host, Tim DLGG, and I'm joined tonight by my sound man, Agent_70 on Twitter.
What's up? What's up?
Dirt, aka Stud Muffin or Stud Monkey, whatever he called himself last week, is having dinner with the family, so if he makes it home in time, he will let me know and I will add him to the show. And classic material is still lost in the Bermuda Triangle. But we hear that he does have a new PC now, so hopefully he's either watching us at home or he'll be joining us in the near future. We miss you, man.
We miss you. Classic material.
Check out coldslitterpodcast.com. And Dirt's website is popculturenetwork.com. And of course, our website is theclicknation.com, where you can find previous episodes of the Comic Book Chronicles, comic book reviews, the Click Nation podcast, and much more. Follow us on Twitter at theclicknation. Like the Facebook fan page, facebook.com/theclicknation. Add us to your circles on Google+. Just search for The Click Nation. And also join the Click Nation community on Google+. Just search for The Click Nation community. YouTube.com/theclicknation is the YouTube channel. Subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. Again, search for The Click Nation. Shout outs to comicrelated.com, who also houses our Comic Book Chronicles podcast, and you can find many more comic-related podcasts. Just go to comicrelated.com. And last but not least, if you ever have some feedback you want to have read on a future show, send that on over to our email address, theclicknation@gmail.com. And with all that out the way, we're going to jump into the Click Nation Comic Book Chronicle news. And thank you. And first up, I guess this I know this was earlier in the week, might have been Monday or Tuesday. The internet kind of blew up with news that Warner Brothers and CW were going to spin off a Flash TV series from Arrow.
Righto.
And of course, Arrow will be starting its second season this fall, and they're going to debut Barry Allen in episodes 8 and 9, and then he's going to reappear again in episode 20, which will be the soft
launch
or hard launch. I forget which term they use for it, but yeah. So
or soft opening, something like that.
Yeah, I guess they'll introduce his. Some of his supporting characters along with him.
That sounds cool. Sounds cool. I saw some. I don't know if they were memes or if they were articles talking about what they will choose to make his costume out of. You know, hoping that it's not like a leftover couch like the old Red Velvet Flash costume from what was the late '80s, early '90s.
Right.
So, you know, hopefully they'll come up with something. I don't know if they're going to do armor, because, you know, armor is the cool thing to do nowadays in the new 52.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know, Tim, did you get a chance to watch the Flashpoint Paradox yet?
No, my copy arrives tomorrow. I had to wait for the Blu-ray.
A legit copy.
Yep. I've looked at all the 2-minute videos that all the different websites have released of all the different fights and whatnot, and it looks pretty awesome.
It's a pretty good watch. You know, my reservations have already been stated. I'm not so keen on the anime look, but it seems like DC's going to own that, you know, that particular style of animation now, and that particular style of you know, rendering and representation of their characters. So hey, why not?
I will say, when I looked at the The last video they released was a fight between Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Some people say Aquaman, yeah, he's definitely got like he got a brick for a face or something.
Definitely, definitely.
Very chiseled.
It's so very anime inspired. Like it almost looks like it looks like promo art for like the Street Fighter video games. If you've ever seen like the promo art, like the the booklet art in
Hmm.
the PS3 or the Xbox 360 game, that's what that looks like. So
But as far as I like the anime style animation. It looks pretty cool.
definitely, I think it's even a step up. You know, you can argue this point back and forth. I think the animation, not just the cells or the pictures, the animation itself is a step up from, you know, the Justice League, you know, Unlimited, you know, Warner Brothers stuff that's been on TV. So
Oh, okay. And if you're watching live and you've already watched the Flashpoint Paradox, let us know. You can send a tweet to my Twitter handle here that you see on the screen. That's at TimDoggg98.
or you
And
can send it to me at agent underscore 70.
yep, and we'll read them live on the show. So that's the
Got it.
Flashpoint Paradox in your local stores or digital marketplace now.
You got it.
So yeah, we already talked about the Flash series,
Mm-hmm.
Flashpoint Paradox. So Trask Industries website went live with video and images of Sentinels and history of Bolivia Task.
Bolivar.
Trask.
It's
Was it
just Bolivar.
Bolivar?
Yeah,
So let me get rid of that extra. Ah.
because it makes it sound like he's from Bolivia and he's gonna disappear fade into Bolivian, like Mike Tyson used to say.
That's what I'm trying to put them to.
So yeah,
But
Bolivar Trask.
and then today, there was a picture of Bryan Singer posing with a Sentinel.
Yeah, just saw that. Just
We
saw that. It's
kind of we kind of mocked that online earlier.
what is he like knee high to the Sentinel?
Yeah, and then it looked like the Sentinel was wearing like white sneakers.
And someone tweeted, I was it you Tim that tweeted that it looks like he's got an air conditioner vent in his chest, the Sentinel.
Yeah,
A car.
looks like the car AC vent is like mounted in his chest.
It does look like that. I agree.
So what did you think of it?
It definitely looks like a more modern version of the Sentinel. It's streamlined. It's not nearly as blocky as the originals. Um, you know, they definitely want to go with you know, kind of a Terminator type look to it.
Hmm.
I liked it. I would have to see a closer look at the face. I don't remember looking at the face too much, because more or less the Sentinels look is defined by what the face looks like. Because the bodies are, you know, I don't want to say that they're interchangeable, you know, because they're sort of like a, you know, depending on which model, which mark it is, the bodies are standard, but you know, the face usually doesn't change from Sentinel to Sentinel. They usually have like a pretty steady look. So I gotta take a closer look at that.
Okay. So I've gone on record a time or two saying how I'm not too excited about Days of Future Past. Again, all these pictures and images. The website and whatnot is cool. I believe it's trash-industries.com.
All right, I'm gonna
Yeah,
give that a look.
trask-industries.com is the website you can go to, and it has all the video and the images and the history of Bolivar Task. So check that out. But yeah, I don't know. I think if anything, the Sentinel action will be cool. Watching X-Men fight Sentinels should be cool, and
I think
there'll probably be like building size Sentinels and the lower, smaller sized ones, sort of, and then some probably human size. But yeah, it's just too many characters and trying to mesh all the different timelines. I don't have high hopes.
did you watch the Wolverine yet?
Yes, I watched that last week.
What'd you think? I watched it, so we can actually do a quick review.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was average. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like awesome. So it was just there.
It's funny, my feelings on it pretty much mirrored a lot of the reviews that I read afterwards. Is that the movie was okay through the first two-thirds of the movie, and then the final last third of the movie was just ridiculous. And I totally got lost and didn't understand what was going on and couldn't understand why anything was happening. And there's all sorts of shenanigans going on with the adamantium and what it's supposed to be, how strong it's supposed to be. So
Ah, I guess because I've never really cared about Wolverine and
Wolverine,
Japanese um adventures. So that's the reason I wasn't really hyped about it going into it, especially like the commercials didn't instill
right?
a lot of excitement in me.
Well,
There was
I would think,
no great action sequences. I mean, the stuff with the flying on top of the bullet train was kind of cool, but
it
I mean,
was
we've seen
okay.
that before.
What I was going to say is, if you were a fan of the miniseries that they adapt this from, the Claremont and Frank Miller miniseries that they adapt this from, um, I think you would have not been hyped for this. You would have been just like me, a little bit of, a little bit apprehensive
Hmm.
to see how they would adapt it. And they definitely took bits and pieces of that limited series, and you know, they made it their own. But it was just a very disappointing adaptation to me, in terms of what they could have done. With the characters and the motivations, and it's a much deeper. I hate to say this, it was a much deeper miniseries. The story that it told was a lot deeper than what they made it out to be in the movie. So
Of
it was
course.
kind of disappointing.
Yeah, because comics, you have however many comics you want to tell the story, and movie, you got a little over 2 hours
Yeah,
to compress the whole story and get it done.
yeah. I mean, you know what it is that they can't really go into that much of the X-Men backstory because there's so much stuff that sort of relates to where the X-Men series was when that limited series took place.
Hmm.
So they obviously have to cut out a lot of that stuff to make it more make it more timely with what's going on in the X-Men universe. I was kind of spoilers on. Jean Grey was kind of bothering me in this.
That didn't really bother me. I guess I didn't pay much attention to it, so it didn't bother me.
I was like, why is she there? What is she doing? You know, she's in his head. Oh God, it's so bad.
Oh, and also more spoilers. Um, so
Spoilers, spoilers.
the best part of the movie was the during credit scene because it wasn't really after the credits.
Yeah,
So, we got appearances by Magneto and Professor Xavier from the first X-Men movies, not First Class
right.
Magneto and
Right.
Charles.
Present. We'll call them present day or near future.
Yes. So, and it's funny, like during the movie, during that scene, uh, it was kind of a long after credit scene or
Yeah, it
during
was.
credit scene, but they turned the freaking lights on during in the theater.
Oh,
So it's like and
boo.
with the lights on, you can barely see the screen, and but then they
Oh,
turned it back off. But I mean, like we missed a good portion of it.
are you serious? Ah, that's
Not
I would
missed it, but
actually.
like I saw everything on the screen, but you could barely. It was real bright, and then you couldn't hear what was really being said. So I missed some dialogue.
That deserves a gong and a letter to the theater management. They should know which movies to not raise the lights on right away.
It's like and it's a new theater, so
No, but they
they've had.
should. The projectionist should know, that there's something to be that something there's something that people are going to wait for. That's pretty.
Hmm.
That's pretty. That's a bad job. That's the bottom line. It's a bad job by the theater and the projectionist.
Yeah, they've screwed up before, but I have gotten free stuff from them because of it. So there's
Oh,
that.
I hope you got that. I hope you get something free because of that.
Yes. Well, we didn't ask, so
Oh,
I mean, it was just the after
just the
credits.
empty. Yeah, but still. Anyway,
It would
so
have been nice.
what would you give it out of 4 stars?
Out of four,
Standard.
2.
I give it like 2.5, and then like the last third is like 0 stars.
Well, I'm skipping the half, so I would have said 2.5 too, but yeah,
Oh,
2.
okay. Yeah, no, no, 4 star. Like old school Siskel and Ebert. So
Yeah.
well, they were thumbs up and thumbs down. So, but, most of the old school movie theater rankings are like 4 stars, and like half stars.
Right.
So yeah, two
Tim.
and a half stars from me, 2 stars or 2.5 stars from Tim. So it's not exactly a ringing endorsement from the Comic Book Chronicles to go see the Wolverine.
So if you happen to not see it before Days of Future Past comes out, uh, I'd say you're not missing entirely too much.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think you need to see this to watch Days of Future Past at all. I think this movie is definitely for the person who read the Wolverine limited series and wants to see some of that translated onto the screen. But I'm sure that person's going to be disappointed, just like me.
Let's see,
Alrighty.
next stuff on news. Okay, so I got this from, I won't say who it was on Twitter, so I'll let them remain nameless, but they know who they are, provided me this info. So he lives in New York, and he has a friend that's, uh, I guess, works on a movie set, and so of course this is spoilers for a future movie. He was saying, yes, he was saying that Green Goblin and Hobgoblin will make appearances in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Whoa! Big spoilers.
Yeah, he said they. Hold on, let me pull up the message.
Big spoilers. You heard it right here first on the Comic
Yeah,
Book
he said he has a
Chronicles.
friend that works on set of Spider-Man 2. He told me that Green Goblin and Hobgoblin will also be villains in the movie.
Wow.
He says how much they are in the film, I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be Electro, so I guess they are background players.
Yeah.
Interesting. They're setting up number three, the next movie.
So there had been rumors that Green Goblin or Norman Osborn, whoever was going to be in it, but I asked if he knew who was playing them, and the guy he said his friend wasn't into movies like that, so he didn't know who it was that would be playing them.
Right,
But
right, right,
that'll be
right,
interesting to look out for.
right. I mean, they're actively shooting in and around Manhattan, especially on weekends. They're shutting down like parts of Midtown all the time. I forget what the code name for the production is, but I picked up on it one Sunday. Like they shut down all of Madison Avenue. You can see the cranes doing all the camera work, uh,
Right.
uh, in Midtown. So they're definitely still going on. They're still shooting.
Did you someone last week passed me I guess a link of someone videotaping the Amazing Spider-Man 2 trailer during San Diego Comic-Con. It was on Perez Hilton's website. That's what the link
Oh,
took me
was
to.
it? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It was like someone sitting in the crowd, taping the footage up on the screen. I
Sure,
mean,
sure.
it was kind of long too. I mean, it looked all right. You got Electro at the end, and you saw Rhino Pre going Rhino, and Spider-Man like swinging around doing stuff, being witty, which we
Yep.
didn't get in the first 3 movies. I mean, but besides that, I don't really remember too much from it. But it's somewhere up
Hmm.
on Perez Hilton's website.
All right. Oh, yeah. If he's a lot, if he even still has it
Yeah,
up.
that's what I can say. It might be down by now. So,
Yeah, it'd be something to look for. All right, you guys, take a look for it. I'll be sure to look for it.
oh, and I ain't mentioned this last week. I think I read it last week, or I might have read it. I don't think I read it this week, but Marvel trademark registered gifted on July 16th or something like that.
Yeah, I saw something about that. What is it supposed to mean?
Hold on, let me open this link to the Hollywood Reporter. Actually, I read on Bleeding Cool first, but when I did the Google search today, they pulled up this article. But they did cite Bleeding Cool. As soon as the nice Chrome tab finishes spinning.
I've got Bleeding Cool open. Is there an article on this? Uh,
Yeah, but it's probably from last week, so it might be buried.
okay.
Okay, so blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Bleeding Cool blog reports that in July on July 16th, Marvel registered the phrase registered gifted for multiple uses, including comic books, graphic novels, and printed periodicals in the field of comic book stories and artwork, as well as merchandise, including clothes, toys, and electronic equipment, and unsurprisingly, audio and visual recordings. Phrases or titles that have received the same amount of treatment in the recent past have included Avengers Assemble, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Guardians of the Galaxy, and Age of Ultron. But registered gifted isn't an existing title or even necessarily linked to an existing title in the same manner as any of those earlier cases. So what is it? The use of the word gifted brings to mind the X-Men franchise, which features a school for gifted children, remember? But in that case, it would sure be Fox, which currently holds the movie rights to X-Men characters and concepts that we register in that particular phrase. Perhaps we should turn to the registered part, which suggests authority and points to a potential Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tie-in. Will that series have a thread that requires the superpower community to register their abilities, a la Civil
Yeah,
War?
Civil War. Yeah,
With the D23 or Disney 23 Expo just 2 weeks away, it's possible that more information may be on the way sooner rather than later. And so there was another, let's see, if I click on the Bleeding Cool article, I think they talked about how it could be Marvel's way of explaining Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch in the Avengers 2, since they can't refer to them as mutants. They can say they're gifted. The
that's actually
registered
yeah,
part's a little, not sure about that, but
that's
yeah.
actually probably a pretty good guess.
So it's a yeah. They say could this be something to do with the Shield TV series, another TV series, the name of an Inhumans film? It does feel rather X-Men-y though.
It does.
Yeah, so there's that. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, we'll see
Probably
what that
by
means.
probably before August is over, maybe we'll find some out news about that. Oh, you know what? I wish I had this. It was comic book. Hold on, let me do a Google search.
What are you looking for?
Uh, they had a interview with Stephen Wacker from San Diego. San Diego. I wanted to bring up on the show. Let's see.
On
Oh,
CBR?
season one. Hold
Do,
on.
do, 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 do.
There we go. 6 days ago. Yeah, okay, here it is. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is they talk about doing some Wave 2 Marvel Now titles.
Mhm.
And let's see. Yeah, on featured characters in Marvel Now Wave 2. We picked every character. So you remember that teaser image that had like Nightcrawler and uh, original Amazing Spider-Man outfit on it?
Sure.
Yeah, so he's referring to that picture. We picked every character in there because they are characters to watch in the coming year. Just like last year when we were unveiling the Marvel Now Joe Quesada image, and you were seeing characters, the Guardians of the Galaxy, you were seeing the new Spider-Man, you were seeing Nova, and we were promising they would be characters to watch. We're saying the same thing with characters like the Black Widow, the Silver Surfer right now. How this will come to pass, I'm not going to say more. That's for future announcements, but they're all chosen for a reason. They're all going to get their moment in the spotlight. Uh, okay, okay. On adding brand new characters to the Marvel universe. Look for the arrival of at least one wholly new character launching their own series as part of our next wave of Marvel Now titles. Again, I can't say more about it at this point, but the long and short of it is, and that character won't be alone. That doesn't really make sense. Uh, the usual game plan is we'll have the character emerge in the context of a popular series and have them get their foot in and build an audience for them slowly. We're going to try something different with this character. The Marvel catalog rolls deep. I just now noticed that part where he says we're going to try something different with this character. Does that mean that they're not going to do that same formula of introducing them? Because my guess was going to be that it's going to be Angela that gets to her own series because she's debuted in. she's gonna be debuted in Guardians of the Galaxy and probably try to spin her off into her own series. But now,
If they even have, I don't even, I don't know if they have like a framework to introduce her into her own series. I think they're gonna have to leave her in Guardians for a little while. I caught some tweets from you and I caught some tweets from Classic Materia
yeah, what is
just
he
now.
saying?
He's saying he's asking you guys cover the X Factor movie rumors yet? And which lineup would you want to see? I did not know that there were X Factor movie rumors. Or
Um,
no, he meant X Force.
oh, X Force.
He meant X Force.
Yeah,
That's the
we
second
covered
tweet.
those I think 2 weeks ago, but they're trying to branch out the X-Men franchise besides just the X-Men. So supposedly the guy who's directing some movie that I can't think of is supposedly writing up a whatever you call it for movies,
The
a
script.
story.
The script.
Yeah, a script for X Force, and all they said for now is it's gonna have five. It's gonna be a five-person team.
Right, and they haven't been very specific about who they're going to include. I think if I recall our conversation, they're probably going to take one member from like every version that there has ever been of X Force.
Yeah, I say it's gonna be like a hodgepodge of
Yeah,
Cable, Deadpool, um, Warpath,
Wolverine.
Warpath, and like Pete Wisdom.
Oh yeah, I guess they wouldn't put Wolverine on it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have Wolverine, but yeah, so you have like Warpath from the old original X Force. Even though I guess he wasn't. Was he on the original team?
Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you have him, and then he also was in that when they relaunched X Force pre-Uncanny,
Right,
and then you have Cable from of course, the original series, Deadpool from the Uncanny series.
right.
You have a woman, a female, so not sure who that would be.
Psylocke.
Ooh, that should actually, yeah, that would be a good one. Psylocke
Hmm.
for like the current, and then like the fifth person would be like Pete Wisdom, someone who's never been on an X Force team before.
Yeah, so there you go, classic. Hope you hope you have some more suggestions.
Yes, and my man Roddy Cat on Twitter says Angela gets her own book. You heard it here first. Oh, and I'm glad you brought that because actually, when I read it, when I originally read that story, I think later on that night I tweeted that my guess was Angela gets her own book and Marjorie Liu would be the one writing it.
That's
The
interesting.
only reason I say Marjorie Liu is because Astonishing X-Men is going to be canceled. So unless they're canceling Astonishing to relaunch it with a nice pretty Marvel Now on it, she'll need a book to be doing in Marvel. So, but then someone was saying on another podcast that they heard that Astonishing was getting relaunched in with the new Marvel Now
Oh my
logo.
goodness.
But that my guess, my assumption was Amazing X-Men is taking Astonishing's place.
And don't let me get started again on a rant about how many core X books there are and how many you need to collect just to make sure that you're covering all the main stories. That's just ridiculous.
At Dork Geekus says, yeah, James was on the original team. James is being James Proudstar.
Yep.
Warpath
Yep.
was on the original team and Scott's first Death Squad, and he hopes X Force fits his Cable's convoluted origins.
That'll be interesting. They might ignore that for like a solo movie.
Yeah, I mean they'll keep it simple, I assume,
Hmm.
as simple as you can make it. They probably
I
won't
think
even
so.
reference. There won't be any reference to him being at Cyclops' son.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, I mean, it is Fox, so they can actually play in that. They can play in that sandbox, So I don't see why they wouldn't. They might just let it slip. They might drop a hint.
Yeah.
They may not reveal it. It might be just like a bombshell that they drop at the end of the movie or in a post-credit scene, just to get you coming back for more. Sounds good. All right, what else we got in news?
Uh, I keep clicking the wrong window. So I guess I was gonna bring this up quickly. We can
We
sort of
got
play a game with this. Shout outs to at Variant Dash on Twitter. He kind of gave me this idea earlier this morning. He had tweeted out some of the 2015 movies and geek culture type things he was looking forward to, and he listed Star Wars Battlefront, which is like Star Wars video game with done like through the Battlefront or Battlefield type engine. Avengers Age of Ultron movie, Batman vs Superman movie, and Star Wars Episode 7. I was gonna say that we should rank them in order of what we're least excited for to most excited
From
for.
low to high.
Yeah, low to high.
All right. You want to go first?
Since I got it here in front of me,
Go ahead.
I'll post it so you can read, so you don't have to try to remember it all. Post in the chat here. So least would be Star Wars Battlefront because I rarely play video games as it is. I think it's hard. I don't know. Star Wars Episode 7, I think it's gonna disappoint me for some reason. So I'm gonna put that second. It's from least to most. Batman, Superman, and then Batman vs Superman, and then Avengers: Age of Ultron.
You took my rankings. You basically said the exact same thing I would have said.
Okay.
You know, Avengers 2 definitely has it's built up a lot of cachet and create a lot of expectations. So I think that's why it deservedly ranks number one. I think number two is Superman, Batman, or Batman, Superman, because of how they might play off each other and how they might set the story up. And I'm kind of curious to see how they'll do that. And number three is Star Wars because it's hard to know what to expect from that. So I think finding it in the middle of the pack is right because if you're a fan, I think you're just like I was saying before about the Wolverine adaptation. You're probably apprehensive to see where they go next.
Yes.
And the last one, I'm not that much of a PC gamer. It does sound cool that Star Trek, that you get to run around. I guess you'd be a landing party.
Mm-hmm.
Doing like planets, like planet hopping stuff maybe. So that might be cool.
Yeah. I think you said Star Trek, but you meant Star Wars.
Oh, did I say Star Trek?
On the last sentence, but that's fine.
Oh yeah.
Didn't want any mix up.
Yeah, sorry about that. Star Wars number 3, Star Trek video game number 4.
Yeah. Okay. So, and of course, you can do your own ranking at home.
That's right. And let us know. Tweet at us. Let us know what you think.
Okay, that's all I had for news. Actually, let me make sure. Yep, that's all I had.
Yeah, let's scroll through Bleeding Cool and see if there's anything we missed. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Nope.
Dork Geek is being funny.
What is Dork Geek saying? Dork Geek is not tweeting at me.
Yes, he just tweets at me.
Ah.
He says, I'm not down with Star Wars as video franchise, as a comic, as movie. If you're down with George Lucas, 62. And he does ask now, have any of us seen the Flashpoint film? Yes.
Oh, Dork Geekus has not been listening.
He probably just tuned in. But yeah, that was the first or the second.
Like the first thing we talked about.
Yeah, second thing we talked about in news. But I have not seen it. My copy is in Atlanta in transit to Athens, so it better be waiting for me at work tomorrow, even though I'm not going to be at work. But I will go pick it up sometime during the weekend so I can watch it.
But you actually go to work to pick it up? Wow.
Yes, I need to see this at least by Saturday.
Wow. All righty.
So, but you have seen it.
I have seen it. I have seen it through not necessarily quite legal means, and it's definitely worth watching.
Have you seen it, Dork Geekus? Let us know. While I await that answer, we can get on over to this week's comics.
Sounds good.
And this
the list.
I'm gonna bring up a comic I forgot to mention last week, and I actually reviewed it. It's my first read from Monkey Brain Comics. I think it's like a online. Of course, you can go to monkeybraincomics.com. I think that's their website. Let me verify that. Yes, monkeybraincomics.com. And the two hosts of the IGN Assemble comic book podcast, Joey Esposito and Benjamin Bailey, they both are co-writers and creators of this series. And it's basically like a all ages superhero book. And I wrote a review for it, so you can find that on theclicknation.com. But yeah, it was a nice, fun, simple story. Something that kids could read. That's what they said they wanted to, get back to making comics that were fun and that everyone could read. So if you're interested, check that out. I will be. I'm on their mailing list now, so I should get review copies, and I'll be uh, making sure to read them and try to bring it up on the show.
Sounds good.
I see Dork
Alrighty.
said something. He said he tuned in late. Don't give him a demerit.
Gone.
Oh, he says he saw it. Aquaman was pretty tough and formidable. And since you didn't hear it earlier, I said seen the preview videos online and the last one was a fight scene sequence between Aquaman and Wonder Woman, and I was laughing and picking at how oddly shaped Aquaman's head is. I was gonna say face, but it's like his entire head.
It's so hard for me to describe. It's so very anime. It's so very anime.
Mm-hmm. But yes, so tune in to next week's show, and I'll definitely be giving my opinions on it.
In-depth review. Yeah, we can actually talk about it in depth.
Yep. So, let's see. What do we want to start with? I want to at least bring up Boom Studios. They had three guns number one
Did
of
you have a chance
six.
to read Three Guns number one?
No, because they didn't upload it to their review site for some reason. I'm gonna have to ask my man Dirt for it
That
if he's
stinks.
privy to it.
I didn't
Yeah,
have a
and
chance to
it's
look at
kind
that.
of
I
weird.
would have
Like
liked to see that.
the only thing they had on there, like while we're talking, I'm gonna bring up the site now. But I'm bringing it up because Two Guns. I guess this is the sequel to Boom Studios' Two
Two Guns,
Guns,
right?
which is uh,
About to come into theaters as a movie
yes,
with Denzel
starring
Washington and
Denzel
Mark
Washington
Wahlberg.
and
Yeah,
Mark Wahlberg. So that's a pretty big deal. It might actually do pretty well. But,
definitely in the late summer. It might be one of those
I mean, there's
underdog type, out of the blue movies that catch people's interest.
I was gonna say there's the commercials are starting to come up on TV now, so it's got to be at least within the next 4 weeks. It's got to be, I assume, coming to theaters. But I'll see it. I don't know if I'll see it when it launches. I might try to wait for it to come to our cheaper theater. Haven't decided yet.
It's
Money's
going. It's actually out this weekend,
well. There you
August
go.
2nd.
Oh,
That's
and look what's on
tomorrow.
the review site now. They
Are you
just were.
serious? Three
Yeah,
Guns
now
just
it's
popped
up
up.
there.
That's fun.
Except the freaking
Did you ever read Two Guns?
no, but I downloaded the trade paperback for it.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you read it?
Nope.
I had never heard of it before. I didn't even know. I saw the trailer for it, and when I went to some earlier movies this year, I just thought it was like the buddy cop type film. I didn't even know it was based off a
Is it an
comic book.
adapt? Yeah, exactly. I did not know it was an adaptation of a comic either. So I'll get around to reading that. I'll get around to reading it. So I guess tune in next week when we have a chance to review Three Guns. A week
Yes,
late.
but I want to bring it up.
Sure, sounds good.
So Dark Horse I can bring up because I mentioned Captain. Did I say Captain Ultimate last week?
Maybe.
Hopefully, yeah, all
Captain
there's so many
Midnight.
Captain type books. Hopefully, the book that I was talking about earlier, and I actually messed it up in my review. I said Captain Universe a couple times. It was Captain Ultimate, but Captain Ultimate is the Monkey Brains all ages book, and Dark Horse has Captain Midnight number one, which came out, which I read, and it was pretty good. The art was nice. I don't recall off the top of my head the writer or the artist. And actually, I don't even remember the writer. Let me see if I can pull it up while we're talking here.
Captain Midnight was a radio program, and I remember hearing, that particular part of the radio show um, just replayed, on the radio, and it was just very catchy. So that's
Really?
I hate to say it's the only thing I remember. It's not like I ever listened to the radio show. This is like from 1940.
So um, quick synopsis. Captain Midnight is a hero from the 1940s who he's like this. He's sort of like Tony Stark, where he's kind of like a genius, and he sort of builds stuff and has this great mind. He's fighting, disappears in the Bermuda Triangle. People think he's dead. Then he just reappears in modern day time, and the government wants to find him because they think he might be a threat and whatnot. And some of his former the offspring or relatives of some of his former comrades also are on the lookout for him. And they're actually one of the ladies that is still alive, but I guess she's getting her granddaughter to help her look for him. So
Yeah, something like that. There's like a descendant.
yes,
So definitely something like that. It's definitely reminiscent of some of the Captain America stories of of recent vintage, but it's definitely an interesting take. I agree. The art was it wasn't hard to look at. It's definitely superhero-y. There's a couple of funny bits. Captain Midnight's not exactly a Boy Scout like Captain America. He definitely is a soldier in this in the story. He definitely does very soldier-like things. So
and the writer for Captain Midnight is Joshua Williamson, who I should have remembered that because he faved some of my tweets talking about it. And the artist is Fernando Dagnino. And my phone is ringing, so uh,
is that an emergency?
yeah, because it might be my parents. You can
Uh-oh.
you can move on to DC.
Sounds
I'll
good
be
to
back.
me. Sounds good to me. While I have to take over, we have tweets from Dork Geekus, who's asked me if I find the Flashpoint movie a bit on the gory side. And now that Tim has stepped away, I can talk about spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Where's the alert? It was on the gory side. It's definitely influenced heavily by whatever animation studio took care of this. It's definitely more of an anime style movie than anything else. I was actually just responding to a Dork Geekus tweet about
Yeah, I saw a couple of those.
Flashpoint. So you didn't miss much. You did not miss much at all. We didn't even get to DC yet. So
Okay.
see, we have Captain Midnight #1. That's the big Dark Horse release this week. So moving on to DC, we have Adventures of Superman #3's Kitty, Animal Man Annual. Anybody? Anybody? Bueller?
No.
I guess the first thing that we can get to is the Batman Annual #2. Did you happen to take a look at that?
No.
I will touch on this very quickly because Tim did not have a chance to read it. Batman Annual #2 introduces a new Batman villain called the Anchoress. It's kind of a difficult concept to wrap your head around. It's co-written. Well, the story is by Scott Snyder, the regular Batman writer, and Marguerite Bennett. And Marguerite Bennett, I believe, does the full story. And Wes Craig does the pencils. The pencils are acceptable. They're actually not that bad. The story is about Batman being locked into Arkham Asylum on purpose so that he could test out their defenses and breakout prevention. So again, this is very much a kind of a cliche storyline. At least to me, it's a cliche storyline now. Where I believe in the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon, Tim, you might be able to remember this. They lock Spidey into the raft to see if he could get out, and
Uh-huh.
this is the same thing.
And this is which book again?
This is the Batman annual.
Oh, the Batman. So
Yes, this is Batman annual number
It
2.
wasn't drawn by.
Oh, Greg Capullo?
Capullo.
No, 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 no.
Who did it?
Wes Craig. Wes
How did
Craig.
it look?
It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. It's passable.
Ah,
It's
okay.
definitely more of the Chris Burnham style. The guy who's doing
Oh,
you know
mm.
what I'm talking about. The guy who's doing Batman
Batman
Incorporated.
Inc.
Yeah, it's definitely in that style. It's actually a little bit more like Chris Samney too.
Okay.
So I would just take a look at it. It's worth the review because I think the story is actually okay. It's just that the villain in this is kind of it's kind of out there. We have some tweets from Dork Geekus asking if either of us read the BPRD book with art by Gabriel Moon or by Moon and Ba. I did not read that.
I haven't either.
BPRD Vampires number 5 of 5. We have to go back and check that out.
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen Dorkicus talk about BPRD. I know he's a fan of it. I just haven't ever actually tried it.
Okay.
I may I'll see what I can do with it. Did it come out this week?
Yes, number 5 of 5. So now the series is out, so you can actually read it from beginning to end.
Oh, so it ended.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
BPRD Vampires. It's a limited series. 5 of 5. So just to finish up on the Batman annual, it was okay. It introduces a relatively unique Batman villain.
Mm.
And I think the biggest development here is in the development of Arkham Asylum and how I guess maybe the New 52 is going to treat Arkham Asylum moving forward.
Oh, some changes are coming.
Yeah, maybe not a change, maybe just a change in attitude. There may not be like may not be any concrete changes right away, but there's definitely it seems to be a change in attitude towards what Arkham Asylum is supposed to be. So if you're a Batman fan, you should definitely read this just to see how they treat the future or the possible future of Arkham Asylum.
Okay.
Alrighty. What do we got next on the DC list?
Batman Inc. number 13.
I did not finish reading this.
I have not read it at all. That's gonna
However,
be a lot of the DC stuff because I'm
there's a big however though.
started today. So
Right. But the however is we happen to know how it ends because there's been some talk about it.
so a couple of websites at least talked about and spoiled what happens at the end, and it's basically Raj Al Ghul. At
Wait,
least
wait, wait, ding, 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 spoilers.
yes.
Okay.
So
Go ahead.
it involves Ra's al Ghul, I guess, chanting in front of like a Lazarus pit and saying stuff about the sons of Batman rise, and a bunch of, I'm assuming, Damien clones come out the Lazarus pit.
Or something along those lines. So just to answer Dorkikis' most recent tweet, yes, yes, he basically revealed that Damien's a test tube baby.
And
Or
I
that
guess
there's
didn't we already know that?
right, there's basically future Damiens as test tube babies. There's a whole bunch of them. So we'll see where that goes.
So it's the Clone Saga Batman edition.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even think of that. I did not even think of that. That's
And
funny.
the dangling plot line will be left for someone else to pick up if they feel like it, or ignore, just like everything else that goes on that went on in Grant Morrison's Batman Incorporated.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Anything else
And
to say about this?
no, I mean, the only time I read Batman Inc. was I think number 8 when Damian died, and number 9 the after issue, and
Sure.
I didn't know what was going on. I didn't really care about it, so nothing really to say. I'm glad the series is ending, actually. let's see, the Batman Year Zero #1 Director's Cut edition came out.
These are always cool to
Is it
look
just
at
like?
if you're a pencil if you're a wannabe comic book artist and a penciler.
Hmm.
It's definitely cool to see what the raw pencils look like
Okay.
underneath, underneath all the color and the ink, because this is basically just Capullo's pencils, and you can see from the book the pencils for what issue is this? Batman Year Zero #1, right?
Right.
Um, the pencils are pretty tight, and when I say tight, they're actually really, at least Capullo's pencils, they're really uh, finely rendered. It's pretty well rendered, and the inker doesn't have that. To me, in my opinion, doesn't have that much freedom, to like embellish some of the lines. It's actually pretty. It's pretty much uh, fully rendered pencils. There's not a lot of leeway for an inker to kind of put his own stamp on it.
Hmm.
So, but it's nice to see that. It's nice to see kind of the how what it looks like underneath it all, and it looks like here that there's a script as well, a copy of the script from Scott Snyder in the back of the book. And if you're into writing a comic book,
Which I
this
am.
might be an interesting thing to look at and see how Capullo translates Snyder's script.
Okay. So
So
be on
for
the
all you
lookout for that.
creators, exactly, for all you creators out there, take a look at this book. This is a much better. I think this is a much better way of doing a director's cut book than some other books have in the past. Um, it looks like uh, it's been a while. At least from what I remember, there was an Avengers #1 director's cut. I think Marvel did a couple of director's cut books back in the late '90s,
Hmm.
and I don't remember any more coming since then. And I think this is a fine idea to show aspiring artists and writers what it takes to put together something like this.
Okay. Next up, a Vertigo title, Collider #1.
Did
I
not have a
just wanted
chance
to
to read it.
mention it. I forget who's writing this book. Let me see. Cause I saw a bunch of a bunch of articles about it. Oh yeah. I don't know why I clicked these links. They don't ever open anything. So yeah, I'm not sure who's writing Collider, but Newsarama had an article up about it on Wednesday. Let's see, Detective Comics Annual #2. Not yet. Flash Annual #2. I am reading Flash Annual #2 right now. Not currently, but I mean right before the show I was reading it. I like the artist on it. It's not Francis Manipool, but it's still pretty good. It is, and just for story purposes, this is the first. It's showing the first meeting between Hal Jordan and Barry Allen, Flash, Green Lantern. Let's see,
Okay.
I'm on page 8, so no,
Sammy
38.
Bossery? That's Pencils and Inks. Sammy Bossery. Oh, it's very clean. It's a very clean style.
Yeah, I like that. I'm not sure if the name doesn't ring a bell, but I definitely like it. The colors by Stellar Labs are pretty nice on it too.
Yeah, I
But
think that they're using these annuals to showcase new talent.
Brian Buccellato is still doing the writing duty, so same ongoing Flash writer. So yeah, Flash is kind of picking up steam lately. Got TV show coming in the near future,
An
guest starring
animated
in,
movie that basically stars him.
yeah, and him possibly getting his own movie and tying into Batman and Superman movies.
Definitely. Definitely. He's on the rise. What do we have next?
Let's see. Dork Geeka says Robbie Rodriguez is the artist. I forget which book he's referring to though. Was it what book was I struggling with earlier? Collider, maybe?
Maybe.
He'll let me know in a second. Green Lantern. Oh, so no, that's
It's a
volume.
trade.
Red Lanterns #2, 22.
Didn't
Haven't
read
read
it.
it, but I will. It's more Guy Gardner taking control of the Red Lanterns. He killed Atrocious last issue. If people didn't realize,
He
and
killed Atrocitus?
a lot of people didn't. Yeah,
Wow.
supposedly because he took his Atrocious ring came off, and I guess like supposedly if a Red Lantern loses their ring, they die or something because it takes replaces their heart.
Wow.
But yeah, so got to read that to see what else happens. I skipped Injustice Gods Among Us #7. I'm
Hmm.
assuming that's a digital comic, maybe.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
That's just a printing of the digital comic.
Yeah. Superboy 22. Not reading that.
Didn't
So
read that. Superman
Superman
Annual number
Annual
two.
2. I
We'll
will
get
probably
to it.
skip that. Oh, and Dork Kika says yes, Collider. So the artist is Robert Robbie Rodriguez.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tom Strong and the Planet of Peril.
I will check this out because it's not like I've seen that Tom Strong name before, and I guess this is a Vertigo title.
Well, yeah, it used to be Wildstorm. It's one of
Used to
those
be who?
Alan Moore. A Wildstorm is one of the Alan Moore or the Alan Moore characters. Tom
Oh,
Strong.
okay.
So
I did not know that.
I want to say it was
So,
the Alan Moore character. Now I'm gonna Google that because I don't say that with the conviction I should. Yeah, Alan Moore. Yeah.
Trinity of Sin Pandora #2.
Anybody? Bueller? Bueller?
Since it ties into Trinity War, which I'm enjoying, I will give that a read. And Wake #3 of 10. So I
I
guess the Wake
regret
is a
not
limited
reading this.
series.
Yeah, I regret not reading this. I will have to read this and see where they're going with this limited series and see if it's worth sticking to. I did read the first two issues. I did not get a chance to read this issue yet.
I still haven't read issue 2 yet, and still debating if I will. I don't know. It. I hear such great things. I like Scott Snyder, obviously, and Sean what's the artist's name? Sean something Murphy.
Right. Sounds about
Uh,
right.
the guy that's drawing. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
doing Punk Rock Jesus. I keep hearing
Mm-hmm.
he's supposedly pretty good, so I want to give it a chance. It's just I'm trying to read up so much other stuff.
Yeah, no, it's overwhelming. We have to be picky about what we review.
Dirt Kika says, "Yikes! I dropped Superboy after they showed the evil Grunge." Oh, is Grunge showed up in Superboy?
I have
So,
no idea.
so,
I
uh,
couldn't tell you.
so are the only people missing from Gen 13 that haven't made an appearance in the New 52 book
Oh, so they
Burnout?
showed, yeah. So they showed Fairchild. They showed what's the girl's name with the short leather jacket?
Oh, shit, what was her name? Has she appeared in a book?
I don't know.
I
You
don't even
know their
know.
names,
I
dude.
know Grunge was in Superboy. Yeah, Grunge. I guess I do remember hearing about Grunge being in Superboy a while ago. I didn't pay
Hey,
any attention.
listeners and viewers, tweet
Wasn't her
us
name
and tell
Roxy?
us
The
what
girl with the
happened.
yeah, wasn't it Roxy something?
Oh, you got it, Tim. I think you got it. I think you got it.
Yeah. See, I collected J. Scott
Gen
Campbell's
13.
Gen 13.
I think I had like the first two or three issues, and that was it.
I picked them
That's
up every
funny.
day after church. Not every day, but every month after church at when we make the Kroger grocery store run. I go to the magazine section and they had comic books and oh I'll pick this up and I'll
There
pick
you
that up.
go. There you go. We all got to get our fix somehow.
And the Wake artist is Sean Gordon Murphy.
Oh, it's Sean Gordon Murphy.
That's close.
It's
So
still
yes,
Sean Murphy.
if a Burnout and Roxy have appeared in a New 52 book, let us know. And was Lynch in Team 7 when they relaunched that?
Probably. I didn't read it, but it probably was.
Yeah.
Grunge was a villain. Rainmaker was there, but no Burnout. That's what Dork Geek is just tweeting us.
Rainmaker just appeared in the movement. I think supposedly that was her first New 52 appearance. I thought Free Fall. Okay.
Roxy,
Roxy
AK
Free
Freefall.
And yeah, Fairchild was in Ravagers, which got canceled. Grifter had a series that got canceled, and then he was in Team 7 that got canceled. The Wildstorm characters aren't faring too well in the New 52.
Bum, bum,
See, if I was a
bum.
new, if I was a writer, I'd try to pitch something utilizing some of these people that had canceled series and like put them on a team together. Actually, shout outs to Roddy Cat again because we were sort of tweeting about that before the show. Like the DC version of Mighty Avengers, where it's like the all uh, people of different races, Marvel Avengers team. Because he said like oh, let me find a tweet here.
Shout out to Eclectic, where he jokes about was it the Ethnic League of America? I'm not going to steal that. That is an eclectic relaxation podcast EDP idea. We cannot steal that.
What's he called it?
The Ethnic League of America.
Ethnic League. I like that.
It's genius. Eclectic, man. I hope you're listening to this.
So,
oh man, that is copyright Eclectic.
Roddy Cat says, "What if Cyborg, Vixen, Black Lightning, Hot Girl, and Mr. Terrific took over a book after Trinity War? Justice League Dark." I said only if they include Static, then I'm in.
That's too much.
Okay, so Lynch was in Team 7.
He had to have been. He's one of those central characters to that whole team dynamic, right?
Yeah, at least the original,
right,
back in the old days.
In the Image days.
See, that's all DC. IDW had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 24, Part 3.
That was interesting.
That was awesome.
That was interesting.
Fun book. I love this series.
I read that. That was actually, that was pretty out there. That was pretty out there. I don't know if I caught the previous issue to this. Did they go straight from the kidnapping to this?
Well, issue 2 had the turtles trying to find Leo. They ran into Hob.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that. Yeah, I was trying to figure out who the anthropomorphic cat was.
And then they also had the scenes of the Foot brainwashing Leo.
Oh, okay. I definitely missed that. So I'm gonna have to backtrack and check out issue number 23. Yeah, but this issue, it wasn't. I didn't miss out on much because this issue was definitely worth the read. This issue was definitely worth the read.
So yes, good series there. You still got time to catch up. Just go back 2 issues where City Fall starts. I think this is 24.
22.
22. Yeah. That math works.
Sounds good. Yeah.
And that's all the IDW I had to mention, I think.
Still looking for the activity. Have not seen
it.
It's not out.
Activity?
Yeah, the activity has not been solicited, I don't think, so I'm going to have to be on
the... Is that a IDW book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I want to say the Sam Keith thing. Oh, yeah, Worlds of Sam Keith Volume 1 hardcover came out today.
So they're reprinting some stuff. Okay.
I gave that a download, actually. Let me quickly open it here and see what I see in it. See if it actually is like old images of... This must be some of his early work. Yeah, I gotta scroll for a while.
Oh, so it's an art book.
So, yeah, it's like art.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, listen, not everyone is interested in Sam Keith artwork. I remember we had this discussion last week about Sam Keith artwork. So, pull up, anyone listening, pull up last week's show, and you'll hear a funny story about the one time I met Sam Keith and he gave me a sketch. So go back and visit theclicknation.com and pull up last week's show and listen for a cool story about Sam Keith when I met him at a small New York convention. It's been a long time. It's been more than 10 years. It's been a long time.
Did it go well?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You don't remember the story? I'm not going to retell it.
Yeah, of course I don't remember it. Shows go by in a blur for me.
That's right.
I remember nothing.
Alrighty. Image Comics. Anything?
Invincible Volume 18 came out. Man, I want to get caught up on...
Morning Glories, number 29.
I want to get caught up on that series so much.
It's a lot of reading.
I plan on doing it, though.
Read it like a vacation or something. Like if you're sitting on the beach, and there's no... You're not running to get into the water just yet.
Yeah, that's the problem. I have to actually take time off.
Nah.
I do want to bring up It Girl and the Atomics. I think that's
number
the final
12?
issue.
What was it?
It's like I remember hearing that somewhere. I'm gonna check it out because the art, at least the covers look nice. Who knows what the
All right.
inside looks like? But we
Sounds
shall
good.
see.
Sounds good. So it's Jamie S. Rich, Natalie Nurigat, and Laura Allred. Okay.
Oh,
All right, that's interesting. It's definitely, like a Mike Allred style art.
yeah, at least the cover.
Right, 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 right. Okay, what do we have next?
That's it for Image. So
Now we're moving along. This week was kind of weird in terms of
yeah, it kind of
what was
was.
published.
So we're at Marvel. Captain Marvel number 14, the final part of the Enemy Within crossover with Avengers Assemble.
Did you read this?
I did, and I actually went
I
back and read because I originally skipped Avengers Assemble whatever
Right.
that came before this, but I was like, let me go ahead and knock these out. The art is, at least in Avengers Assemble, the art was nice. The Captain Marvel, they had two artists on it. One was good, one was kind of eh.
Yeah,
I mean,
was about to say the same thing.
so Captain Marvel saves the day, but her brain hemorrhages and she's like left out in space looking like she's dead, but she's not going to be dead, but there'll be a new status quo next that we find out about next issue, apparently.
Right, and they kind of tease what may happen because there's an image of what the next cover is supposed to look like, and I think she might be revisiting her binary powers when she was basically like a member of the Starjammers.
Oh, she was?
Yeah, yeah, we're going back a little bit over ways, so
Hmm.
we'll see how they develop Captain Marvel some more. I was not that enthusiastic about this ending. It seemed very just odd. It didn't seem very well thought
Th-
out.
This villain didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, it didn't really, were the stakes really that high? You know what I mean? Like they developed this with her having a brain tumor, and it turned out to be him being the brain tumor or something like that. So
Right.
this is kind of weird. I wasn't, I'm happy to see Captain Marvel getting some renewed focus.
Hmm.
Trying to promote her as a strong female character, but I don't know if this storyline is enough to do it. Um, I actually want to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, I've been kind of reading it here and there. Well, not here and there, just the
Well,
last.
we're reading it for review purposes, for academic and review purposes, just so that we can
Yeah,
say,
I
yeah, we're
guess.
keeping up with it, right?
Yes, we got to help keep people informed.
That's right. So
Daredevil 29, I haven't got to that yet.
this was good. This was
Okay.
good. This is good. You definitely read this. For all the attorneys and the lawyers out there, it'd be interesting to read this. You know, um,
It's very courtroomy.
a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. There's definitely some courtroom aspects to it. So the lawyers and the attorneys out there will appreciate some of the scenes in this. I know I had some rough flashbacks. I'm like, oh no, why am I reading this? It sounds too familiar. So, but yeah, it's definitely worth the read.
Okay. Next up is Fearless Defenders number 7, which I enjoyed. Hope to write a review for it sometime before the weekend's over.
It was
It's
okay.
I like the artist on it.
Yeah, was it someone new?
Yeah, if someone new. Gonna see if I can pull.
It definitely wasn't the artist who was doing this before. Was it
Will
Hans?
Sliney had been doing it before.
Yeah, Stephanie Hans. I liked it.
Yes, Hans. There we go. Yeah, so it picks up with where last issue left off, where Annabelle Riggs died, sacrificing herself to save Valkyrie from being possessed by the Doom Maiden. And there's a revelation at the end, and something might be different. That's all I can say, because I don't want to spoil everything here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like if we want to spoil it, we'll definitely ring the bell with the spoiler alert.
Yeah, so it like I said, you had to know there was gonna be more to it than just, oh, Annabelle's dead, that's it.
Right. Although it was nice. what they do in this issue is kind of cool. Is that they stick her in Valhalla, which is the hall of the honored dead in Asgardian myth,
Mm-hmm.
and basically it's a fish out of water type story for a little while. So it's actually pretty interesting to see how this is Cullen Bunn, right? How Bunn writes how she's definitely not fitting into the warriors that normally populate Valhalla. She's not fitting in very well.
Yeah. And what's it called? It's not. Is it Valhalla?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Valhalla.
that's what they called it. Okay. I didn't know if they were because yeah they didn't separate male or female afterlife.
Oh no, 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 not in Asgardian myth. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, it was all just Valhalla. Guardians of the Galaxy #5. Mike, I'm trying to think, is that my favorite issue of it so far? At least it feels like stuff is finally moving somewhere. And I've reviewed it, so go read my review on theclicknation.com. But yeah, we had two guest stars. One a former member of the previous Abnett and Lanning version of Guardians of the Galaxy, and someone else that showed up at the end.
Yeah, yeah. The showing up at the end, I think, is getting the story moving.
My only gripe was, how did Peter Quill know where to go find this person? And I think that's it. That's the main one. How did he know where to go find this person? This
He
person,
went to go look for that chair. Wherever
did
that
they,
chair is, that's where he is.
they got each other's phone numbers saved in their cell phones or something?
I guess. I guess. That's pretty funny that you look at it that way, though. It's like, yeah, well, it's I don't know. I don't know if he has like a conscious. No, no, he's not. He doesn't even have like a Captain Marvel type of like cosmic awareness. So I couldn't even tell you. Although he's got this weird like gun now. I think they're trying to introduce that, where it like fires like it does special things.
Yeah, he can like adjust it to do stuff or whatever.
Right. I don't think that was part of the previous incarnation of Star-Lord. So maybe
Yeah.
that's how we found him.
New toys to
Yeah.
sell.
Yep. Yep. That's going to be the toy in the new movie.
Yep. Same with Blam, I murdered you.
No, it was nice that was not in the spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. That was not in this issue. I was spared from having to read Blam, I murdered you in this issue.
And it's funny because since people started complaining about it online, you haven't seen that in the last, like, I think 3 issues.
For 2 issues. I think it was last issue I think they had it. I'll have to go back and
Nah,
look.
they shot people, but actually, he didn't say it last issue because I would have remembered. It was the issue before last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, I complained. If maybe they're listening to the Comic Book Chronicles right now, I complained. Thank you for, complying.
And let's see.
Good job, Marvel.
Yes.
Oh, Dork Geek has just tweeted us saying that I think he originally, as in Star-Lord, originally had the element gun back in the day. That's going to be worth going back and looking up. That's interesting.
Okay.
I hadn't thought of that. Because,
Yeah.
my introduction to the character was Abnett and Lanning. And he definitely had, guns, but he was definitely more the pew-pew kind of guns, not the not anything that did anything special. So, all right. Let's see.
Indestructible Hulk #11. Very
What did you
good.
think of this issue?
It was great. I like that it sort of ties into stuff going on with the whole time stream being broken, and
It's funny how this is like a central issue in this whole timeline being screwed up storyline, right?
hey,
Like, if you want to
he's
know what the deal is, you need to be reading Indestructible Hulk.
he's taking Mark Waid's taking advantage of it for writing, writing purposes.
Definitely. I'm glad that Wade is doing it because, this issue was so well written, and there's so many like little bits in here that you can just, have a lot of fun reading. And like you said, this is the center of the flux, travel, business. They actually talk about all of it. So if you're interested in trying to get to the meat of the story, get to the center of this time travel stuff, start reading Indestructible Hulk, because this is the first issue where they're dealing with it. It's the Hulk Agent of Time, Time.
And I like that Mateo Scalero is getting to draw it, getting some recognition. Former artist on, he was doing Secret Avengers pre-Marvel Now, and I want to say he did. Yeah, that's what he was doing before.
Right, right. Dork Geek has just tweeted us asking, when did Bruce Banner become a time expert? He's not, and he hasn't become one. Instead, without spoiling too much, they recruit Bruce Banner because he is one of the resident scientists of Shield.
And they also say that the Hulk can, he can handle the stuff
The
going on
time
with
energies,
time energies.
and all that stuff. So that's why they've recruited Bruce Banner into this. So it's actually Time, Time, is a subsection of a sub branch of Shield. So I definitely recommend, if you're interested in this, if you're interested in, I think, where Marvel is going with all this, you should be reading Indestructible Hulk right now.
Okay.
And it's worth the read, even if you don't care about this whole time travel business.
Next book, Ultimate Comics, The Ultimates number 28. Finished
Oh,
that
we're not
right.
gonna. I was about to say no one read Kick-Ass 3 number 1.
I didn't.
Me neither. I'd like to.
I need to read the Kick-Ass 1 and 2 first. That's
I
kind of
read
where I'm at
1.
with that.
That's funny. I read 1. I'll get around to reading 2 at some point. Alrighty. So
I
we'll
need to see if they're
jump
on the
in.
Marvel. Oh yes, let me pump the Marvel Unlimited app, even though I don't have it yet. So for $9.99, I think, a month, you can read a bunch of Marvel comics. A lot of back issues and some current stuff. But my man, not Variant Dash, Roddy Cat has been telling me about it, and I downloaded it on the iPad. I downloaded it but never opened the app. And then one night before bed, I was like, because I make a list of all these books and comic event, series events and whatnot. I want to go back and read. So I was like, oh, let me see if this story is on the Marvel Unlimited app. I open it up and it lets you browse. You can browse by series, creators, heroes. You can search for comics, and you pull it up, and there it is. So like for it's the Netflix for Marvel, and they're
Nice.
constantly they update every week with new stuff. So like some of the Marvel Now stuff is on there, but like the earlier stuff, like Superior Spider-Man 2, I think is on there, and like it's like the early issues of Marvel Now. So like I said, some of the newer stuff isn't really on there, but older stuff like House of M and Civil War, Fear Itself, World War Hulk, and then you can like read all. It has all the tie. It's in order, and it has the tie-ins in order. So it's kind of
That's
nice.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So eventually I will sign up for it, but I just wanted to bring it up.
Sounds good.
Ultimate Comics, The Ultimates number 28. I finished this before the show. I'm using the cover for the cover art for this blog post for the Comic Book Chronicles episode. This is a great series. I'm loving
you
Ultimates.
you get the idea that they're pulling out all the stops because they're about to end it, right?
Yeah, but they're not even really pulling out all the stops
You
because
don't think
like
so?
it's because I mean something happens last issue, but then it looks like it's semi reverse this issue.
It's not
It's kind of
reverse
cool.
per se, but it's a development in the Iron Man character. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, but it makes sense, and it's something that fits in with the Ultimate Universe where they can do different things, and they reveal who Kang is, I
Oh
guess.
yeah, yeah they do. That they do.
But yes, I jot down divided we fall. I think I need to make sure see if that's on that Ultimate storyline is on Marvel Unlimited because Dirt mentioned it a couple weeks ago as a good jumping down point.
Sure. Sure, give that a read. I mean, listen, in my opinion, they're trying to blow out. They're pulling all the stops and trying to tell the best stories that they can before at least some of these Ultimate titles go the way of the dodo.
Yeah.
So, I definitely had a lot of fun reading this, even though I really don't care about this, about these versions of the characters. It was definitely just a fun read. So, if you're looking for something that's, that's kind of light and fun. There's definitely some darkness in this book too. Don't get me wrong, but if you're looking for something that's kind of action-packed, give this book a read because it's definitely coming to a head. How many? Do we know how many more issues there are?
Of Ultimate.
Yes.
Um, I mean, they act like it's not announced to be canceled, so I mean, there is no end. As far, or maybe an end for this Ultimates Disassembled.
Right.
They haven't said, or if they have, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I guess they haven't announced a concrete end. They might just roll right into Cataclysm. I don't know what their publishing schedule is going to be like, so we'll see how that works. They'll probably announce something within the next couple of months.
Okay.
Let's see here.
More tweets.
Yeah. So Little Tony was an Infinity Gem. Yes. Tony
Yes.
Stark just can't win. No, he can't. He can't. He can't. And getting back to a tweet, I guess that was referring to Hulk Agent of Time. So there's sword, shield, armor, and now time. Why not helmet?
Yeah, there's so many.
Like
And
new
like,
shield acronyms. Yeah.
yeah, and I like that actually the acronym for time stood for something.
Yeah. So it was definitely there's a million of them out there. I'm sure there's a shield division for just about everything. Alrighty, what do we got here?
Uncanny
Next is
X-Force.
Uncanny X-Force number 9. Are you reading this, Tim?
I am, but I haven't got to it yet.
I read this. Mind you, I dropped this off my personal pull list, and I'm reading this simply for academic and review purposes. I have a lot of problems with this book focusing on Psylocke and Phantom X, or whatever triplicate clone of Phantom X they've created. It's just a lot of gibberish to me. I really don't care about the Phantom X character that much, and I don't see how they can focus an entire book on developing this character. I don't see this book lasting all that long. I don't know if I wish Doug was here. I wish Dirt was here, or what was his nickname last week? Stud Monkey. Yes. If Stud Monkey were here, I'd like to know what the pull list or what the pull ratio is for this book and how popular it is in the store, because I don't see how this is going to last all that long. It's not real. It's not capturing my attention at all.
So you did not enjoy it?
I don't care about it.
Okay, you just don't care.
Yeah, I don't care about it. I enjoyed it to a certain extent, but not enough to say, I'm going to take this home with me.
I'm waiting for this whole Phantom X cluster
to go
thing
away.
to be over so we get back to the rest of the team.
Yeah, but they spent so long on it already. Of the 9 issues, they spent like at least 3 or 4 of them just on Phantom X. So, all right, what do we got? Uncanny X-Men number 9.
I read it.
What's
Fine
that?
issue. I don't know. It's just Uncanny is fine. I just don't really care about Cyclops' team yet.
That's like my attitude towards Uncanny X-Force.
Okay,
I just don't care. This team, this particular group, just doesn't. I don't really care about it. What I don't really care about is this dude with the golden balls. Like, what does he do? What is the point of his power? What is that?
The guy with the balls?
Yeah. What the hell? What the hell is that about? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I like the character.
Yeah.
He's fine. Yeah, I forgot about. I like the code name for hijack. I think it was.
Hmm.
That was kind of nice.
Yeah, that was cool. And there's a twist at the end where where Dazzler kind of runs into somebody, and more stuff is getting ready to happen in this book. So, that's probably I hate to say this, it's probably the only thing that made me want to pick up the next one. I'm kind of curious to see where this goes now. But I honestly don't care. The core, like the new mutants that they've picked up, and the core group of Uncanny X-Men that are helping out Cyclops, I really don't care about.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So.
Oh wait, hold on. There is something here, and I'm glad that Dorkicus brings this up. There's there's a dialogue between Dazzler and Cyclops in this issue that I think has caught some attention. Do you know what I'm talking about, Tim?
Yeah. Him, Cyclops calling Dazzler Uncle Tom.
Yeah, I think that I thought that was kind of in poor taste. That I don't know. It's not kind of. I think that's definitely in poor taste. Um,
Someone sent Brian Bendis a Tumblr question about it or a statement saying they didn't like it and they were offended by it, and I didn't really like his response to it. He was just like,
really?
he was, I forget exactly what he said, but he was like,
Was it kind
it
of
wasn't, it wasn't
snippy
meant for you
or
to be, it wasn't meant for you to be offended and some other stuff. He kind of like brushed it off.
I don't know.
'Cause I was
I
like,
didn't.
really?
I'm gonna have to look that up now because I'm not happy. I wasn't happy about that particular exchange.
If you,
I'm glad
it was
that
from,
Dorkicus brought it up because I think I would have just glossed over this issue because I didn't. I unfortunately didn't have time this week to write out notes, but I definitely wanted to touch on this. Um, it was not. I was not happy with that particular reference, the Sirhan reference too. It was. I thought that was in poor taste. Poor taste.
yeah, it was from, if you go however many hours back, it was early this morning when he replied to it. So sometime between eight and around 8 or 9, between 8 and like 9:30 a.m., however long that was on the timeline.
Hmm, I gotcha.
Uh, I haven't read.
And and I was about to say, and Dorgeekis mentions about this gold ball guy. I guess it beats him firing blue balls. Oh, so bad. So bad.
I haven't read Venom 38 yet. I had thought about dropping the title, but they got
Hold
like a
on, hold
different
on. It
artist
actually
on it
wasn't
now.
bad, actually.
Yeah.
I read it this week. It wasn't bad. It's moving forward with the whole I still can't stand the name that they picked for the bad guy in Venom. Was it Mr. Ogre or something like that? Like the
Oh.
gangster ogre or
Hmm.
some
Yeah, they introduced
stupid
some crime boss, right?
crime boss, right? And it's just ridiculous. But I like the fact that this particular crime boss is pulling an old kingpin and pulling out all the stops and putting the price on Venom's head, and all these kind of minor, like C and D list bad guys are coming to try to collect. And there's definitely some movement with Flash Thompson supporting cast in this. So if you're interested at all in Flash Thompson as a character and where they're taking Venom as the protector of Philadelphia in the future, I think this is probably a good issue to jump on. That's a good jumping on point, I think.
Hmm. Okay. And then
Even though
they're
it's a
gonna introduce
continuation of that ogre storyline, I think it's a good jumping on point.
and they're gonna introduce a sidekick for him called Mania.
I didn't know what the name of the sidekick was supposed to be, but yeah, that's basically where this is going. Hold on, hold on. I'm backtracking a little bit.
Okay.
See, Dorgeekus has tweeted us about Bendis. Scott wasn't quote. Scott wasn't calling you and Uncle Tom. Why are you offended? Oh boy, just opening up a Pandora's box of his own. Just doesn't understand. Mm-mm-mm. I'm gonna have to look that up. That's not cool.
Yep.
All right, what
Uh,
do we got here?
what if AVX number 404?
I actually bothered to read this, and I can't get that time back in my life. I was so, I know it's a what if story, but when I read it, I was like, oh, are you kidding me? This is the best they could come up with a what if story. They had 4 issues to tell a what if story, and this is what the best they could do. It's so
What if
messed up.
stories always just turn into let's kill a bunch of random people and make it different?
Yeah, yeah, but just the way they ended it was kind of lame. Kind of lame. They could have. I thought they could have come up with a better ending, but it's a what if story. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so that sums it up. I haven't read it yet either, but I
Yeah.
will. And X-Men number 3, the end of the first arc from
What did
Brian
you
Wood
think of
and
this?
Oliver Coipel. It was a deflating ending.
I agree. Dorgeekus tweeted us earlier. He jumped to this with regards to the villain in this Archaea,
Yes.
and I was disappointed in how this was resolved. It was
It
kind of
was
weak.
it was like they didn't even show the resolution. They just like get back to the car. It's like, yeah, whatever. Make a Prime Sentinel chick is fine. And for
Yeah,
some
which we
reason
all know isn't really the case, right?
they keep making references to Rachel and Storm disagreeing or something. I never saw that or got a sense of them disagreeing. Like I think in at the last page, like the next month's issue, they mentioned Storm and Rachel disagreeing.
I guess. I guess this was. I felt like they didn't give this story enough room to grow. This could have been done in 4, I
Yeah,
think.
stretched it out a
It's
little longer,
yeah. I think it would have done it some service actually.
and
It's weird that we would actually say that, right?
and he it's unfortunately Oliver Coipel's last issue unless he comes back around from the rotating artist thing they do. But David Lopez is going to do the next 2 issues, and then Terry Dotson comes on for the uh, Battle of the Atom crossover.
No kidding. No kidding. Wow. We got some tweets in. Dorgeekus is having a field day with what we're talking about now.
Yes.
First up, Archaea only roughed up Beast, and she didn't do anything else impressive. Um, I think the threat was impressive.
What was?
Archaea's threat was
I mean, it
impressive.
was cool that she could take over, like she controlled the hospital full of people with
Right.
electronic or metal parts, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
And
they're giving this particular power to a bunch of people like on the Avengers Assemble cartoon. They're giving this technopath type power. Like people controlling machines. They're giving it to freaking MODOK. They just boosted MODOK's power set, tenfold, 1,000-fold. So it's kind of it's a pretty powerful power, if you ask me. So they put it into this Archaea character, and I think the threat was present, but I just don't think I sort of agree with Dorgeekus' notion that Archaea didn't do anything, but I think the threat was
what happens with Sublime now?
there. We may have to wait until the next issue.
Hmm.
We may have to wait until the next issue. He just sort of is he along for the ride? It looks like it, right?
Yeah, and I do like that they show it's billed as the female X-Men book, but they include other people in it too. We had Hellion and Pitsy and whoever the other kid was that looked like Reptilian and Blink, was it? Or
Oh,
Bling?
Bling, yeah. Well, yeah, because Kitty Pryde was left at the school, at the Jean Grey school, so they have to involve the students that are there. So they have like I guess this is the partner book to Wolverine and the X-Men.
Hmm.
So they have that built-in supporting cast. So this is
Yeah.
interesting. I mean,
So
it's kind of funny, and maybe Dorkikas have something to say about this, or some of the other listeners or viewers. It's interesting that the last thing that we said about this book was that it could have been stretched into 4 issues so that it could have been more well developed. It's kind of funny. I always find myself complaining that they stretch these things on for too long, and it seemed like this one they cut it off too short, too soon.
say that one more time.
Yeah, I know we're getting tweeted. We're getting tweeted at
Well, yeah, I'm
rapid
also reading my
fire.
other stuff too, but that's fine. The tweets are
I
great.
can hear
We like the interaction.
exactly. It's awesome. Like the tweets are going on this monitor, and I'm looking at you on this monitor. So, um, on the Shield helicopter or the Shield there, and she goes and possess sick people. What about the AI Avengers? She could have done more stuff. Oh yeah, jeez, the technopath. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, but I don't think she's gone. I think she'll be back. I think they just needed to establish this opening arc to form the team.
Okay, let me get caught up here.
Kind of form this particular all-chick X-Men team, and they give a reason for it to come together, and especially Jubilee coming back and rejoining the fold. I think that's what this, more so than creating a credible threat out of Archaea. I think that's what this 3-issue sequence story arc was supposed to do. And even on the last page, it says here that we stick together. That's what Storm says to Rogue. So this particular crew of X-Men is supposed to stick together to, I guess, address whatever comes in this whatever comes next for this team.
I do like Dort Geeka's statement of it was it was too short. 3 issues just wasn't enough for a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like 3 and done.
Yeah. Yeah, just like we were just saying. We were just saying this. It's one of the few times we'll say they should have made it longer.
And I think that's it for Marvel. Yes, and actually for everything else, because no Valiant books came out this week. Any indie book you want to mention? I can't hear you, Agent 70.
My bad. I muted myself because I was clicking on so many things.
Okay.
I don't have a non-superhero book to recommend this week, and I apologize to the viewers and listeners. But hopefully we'll have something next week for you. Unfortunately, I think for both Tim and myself, we had time to get to the Marvel books and like 1 or 2 DC books this week.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, and I agree with Dorgekus. Archaea probably is still in Shogo League, which is the name of Jubilation's baby.
Oh yeah, I was like Shogo Lee. I was like, that sounds familiar. But of course it does because that's that's what she names them.
That's right.
Shogo.
That's funny. I mean, what? Come to think of it, that guy Hijack is sort of a technopath too.
It's the
Jumping back
cool.
to Uncanny X-Men.
It's the cool new power.
Yeah, controlling technology because one of our phobias as humans is that the technology is going to be controlling us, right?
Yep.
Going all Skynet and Terminator on us. So give somebody the mutant power to control the machines.
It's all coming full circle.
That's right. Alrighty.
I think that's going to be the show.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in and participating.
Oh yeah, we
AKA
definitely appreciate the participation.
Dork Geekus and who else tweeted us tonight? Was that
Classic
it?
Materia.
Yeah, Classic Material. Follow him on Twitter at Classic Materia. Variant Dash, who supplied some stuff for me tonight, and shout out to Laid Back Benny also. Yeah, I know he's watching. Say he was gonna be cooking while and have us in the background. So once
Good.
again, you see my Twitter handle on the screen if you're watching the video, but if not, I'm at TimDOGG98, and of course at The Click Nation is the group Twitter account. Agent 70 is at Agent _70. Dirt is at PCN_dirt. Go to popculturenetwork.com. And the Cold Slither podcast Twitter is at Cold Slither Pod, coldslitherpodcast.com. Uh, so for Agent 70, I'm Tim DLGG. You're watching the Click Nation Comic Book Chronicles, and we are signing off.
Peace.